Okay, just a little bit of a hassle and a half to try to do. Welcome to my channel. Now, I'm a little unorganized for this because I've never actively streamed on YouTube. And I'm getting latency, a lot of latency on the game. 28 frames, what's causing... Oh, yeah! Man, I forgot about that. Yeah, hello to anybody that's actually watching or be watching in the future. I have been doing a bit of farming of late, and it has involved a lot of chickens, though it is not very effective. So I do need to, like, kill them off a little bit. So yeah, make sure to actually chat's up here. Okay, perfect, perfect. This is a new hassle and a half for me. So do forgive if I am a little bit new to this. I don't know if there's any special icons or anything that anybody can pop up. I know there's alerts on Twitch. And I'm just eating a bunch of potatoes. This is slowing me down. Now, last episode I actually recorded, I mentioned I was actually trying to get a bunch of levels. And I have a bunch of them here, but it's a little bit of a pain to try to get levels in this game. Whenever I kill off enough of these chickens, I mean... Yeah, this is taking forever. Okay, since I'm here anyways, let's actively open up my skill menu. Okay, I have actively 6 skills to implement into the game. Now, that's nice, fine, and dandy. But at the moment, I still need to increase everything that I'm doing. So, yeah. What to go into is the question. And first off, before we continue with this, sorry about any lag that is on stream. I don't have the best setup here in the world, but it's what I'm working with, so do forgive. Now I have 6 points and I have enough here to supposedly get into wizards. Going in here. No, 1 off. Dang. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would still be 1 off. Well, that's a little bit of a problem and a half. So I have this disabled at the moment. Let's get rid of this fence post. Put it right here. Right back so I can get out of this area. I figured I'd try to stream a little bit on YouTube because of seeing how the algorithm is a little bit different. Maybe it'd be preferred to actively, well, maybe people would prefer me streaming here. A lot of this comes down to the fact of mixture of personal enjoyment versus, and that's kind of what I'm working on. I want to know which one I'd prefer to actively stream on when I want to stream. Yeah, you're going down. I'm gonna have to get a new sword anyways. Yeah, that took a lot. Let's craft a new one real quick. Put those there, might as well. Too many planks. If you can tell, I've been working on this a little. And there's a little too many chickens in here. Need to sleep though. Oh, thank God for those chickens going. That was a bit much. Okay, for anybody who doesn't know, recording takes a little bit less toll than it does for streaming because you're constantly having to upload and record the footage at the same time, and that there has been a little bit of a problem. So, yeah. These little pigs here have been my primary source of levels, to be truthful. They've been what got me to most of this, well, through most of this. Chickens in here are worth 1 per, meanwhile the pigs are worth 3. I'm assuming then cows are worth maybe 4 or 5, but I'm not exactly that sure. So, plans for this episode, this video, this stream, since it's the first one I'm doing on YouTube. I've been preparing a little bit with some stuff over here. I intend on trying to get a lot of these materials placed down, as I'm wanting to build up the walls a little bit, since the floor and the roof is going to be a little bit of a problem. There's some trees in the nether, technically mushrooms, honestly. What were they called again? I don't remember. Let's close this off for a moment. Let's see, wood, we had, not mangrove. The mangrove would be really good. Yeah, crimson. Yeah, the crimson stems and the warp stems. We want to use the planks for this mostly. We're also gathering a bit of bamboo, as I didn't encounter a bit of bamboo a lot earlier, as evident over here. So, yeah, that's kind of what my plans are for this. And I might be popping in and out. You may be seeing the screen turn like this periodically, which is actually a good thing to just check here for. And it says buffering's a problem for the internet, which I can see a little bit of recording, but I can see what you're seeing. So, yeah. And I can't change the stream latency, so, yeah, apologies. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm noticing that it's not exactly like Twitch is, where it's 1-to-1, and that's where ultra low latency we're going to play for any other time I'm streaming. With that, let's kind of get this laid in, because I have some ideas. First off, over here, we do have a lot of options. I need cobblestone. That's something I need. So I do want to build up. Now, a lot of it's going to be using calcite, but as you've seen, I have in those chests, I have some andesite with diorite. I keep forgetting which one's which. But, yeah, diorite. Yeah, that was it. Diorite, calcite, a lot of calcite, honestly, and diorite. I kind of found veins upon veins of them. Not that it's too big of a deal. I found a mountain range a good while back that I encountered. And with that, I kind of stuck to using that for calcite. I knew I was going to use a lot of it in the future, but I just did not know how much would be using. I think what I'm doing, I'll keep these on me anyways. Sticks and all, sticks and stones, break bones, whatnot, but something, words never hurt you. I know, bad, jokish. Okay, so I got basic stuff. Pumpkins, I need to get rid of the pumpkins right now. I collected the pumpkins from over there, strictly just so I could actively do something with them later. I need to plant them. And usually, I'd be a bit more set in stone with trying to work on minor details like this. Clearing out, I would normally be doing either off camera or in a time lapse, which is not something I have access to doing right now with live stream, at least as far as I know of. So, yeah, they kind of catch everybody up to speed. Been gathering a bunch of levels in my spare time. A lot of things have actually been preventing me from just going at this. I've been meaning to get to clearing the rest of this hillside out a little bit. Great, it's raining. Do I have my bed on me anywhere? No. Why would I? The rain's another problem. It causes much lag for me. Where did I place my bed? Where is it? I know there's one here, but I don't want to take the one out because that's my primary bed within here. Am I just not seeing it? Or did I lose that when I died last? Okay. Not that it's really been too kept up with. Off camera, I died again. From anybody who's seen the shorts, who's seen my videos, last episode I died. I got my butt handed to me by a wither skeleton. I panicked a little bit, and well, here I am. So, kind of without a lot of my own resources there, and I believe some far enough away this hasn't despawned yet, so I might be able to get it back later. Which is where I'm going to be intending on building an airship to actually fly over. They're more like a hot air balloon. And I don't seem to have my bed on me anywhere. That's very, very odd. Did I actually put it in the chest over here? But yeah, I intend to do a lot of stuff here, clearing things out in the places here. Yeah, I plan on building an airship, a balloon of sorts even, to traverse the great, vast expansions of the Nether to get back to that place and get my stuff back, because I had a lot of good stuff in that backpack. That stuff doesn't despawn, but all the stuff on the ground, which I had on me, does. So, the pain of losing that. And I probably should have iron on me as well for shovels to make this go quicker. Man, you can tell how unprepared I am for this. I haven't streamed in so long. When was the last time I streamed? That's a question and a half. I uploaded like the day after or the day before. It's been like months. It's been months since I've streamed last. Right? Either way, way too long, honestly. I enjoyed streaming on Twitch. It's just, I figured for a little bit of change, experience, what it would be like to actually stream on YouTube. Between the two, I don't know which one I would prefer, and I don't know which one would be better for me. So, experiencing this is a very important thing, I feel, in my growth as a channel. So, here I am. And of course, if you have any suggestions for any weird ideas or things to experiment with within Minecraft, please do mention. Let me know of any mod you would also like to see me play with eventually here. This here, as you can see in the description, at least you should be able to, if I did everything right, I doubt I did. You should be able to see all of the current mods that I'm using in by the name, a fairy tale. That's exactly what it is. It's a fairy tale. A little bit of information. I've done a bit of streaming on something similar like this. I really wasn't prepared prior for the endeavor of what it actually was to stream initially, as I was still trying to figure things out, figure my foothold in YouTube even. I figured out streaming was something that I could do, and I decided I'd try it for a good while, and I had fun doing it, but it was a big hassle. One of the things I felt was actively a big pressure that I had to do was constantly be entertaining, which is why I haven't actually done it in such a long time now, because it can be very stressful trying to actually keep up the facade of entertainer at the time period when it's late and you're tired, or you've been doing this for like 3-4 hours straight. It can be a problem to try to do so. It's fun, it's just tiring. And enjoying it is a big key factor to not getting burnt out. At least from my experience. I've enjoyed recording, I've enjoyed streaming. And I want to do more streaming, and I'm experimenting with YouTube to see exactly how I enjoy the differences there. And as it seems thus far, it seems to be simpler on Twitch. Just gets set up, and well, one set up here, and experimentations here is something I need to do. Another thing I'm seeing though is easier to actually just stream on here instead of having to upload later, which is a thing that I enjoy being able to do. I can actually edit the content later, but also I feel live streams to be uncut. Yeah, I've talked a little bit about what I'm doing here in this world a little bit before. What I'm doing is I have a character for a Pathfinder 1E campaign, first edition Pathfinder, and if I ever get to play with either my group or another group, I intend on playing Fester, the Magician, inside of a 5e campaign or whatever edition is being ran at the time period. Just for differences, nuances. Fester the Magician is a, as the name says, Magician of Swords. He works as the primary head mage for the, I forget what I named the kingdom here, but when it comes down to map of this is basically just one big island of sorts that were on here, and I tried to build one in other streams for a different actual playthrough of this, and I kind of just messed myself up by not being settled down in mods, and well, I needed to be more on Fabric for certain things to work properly and to get what I really wanted out of this, which was a lot coming down to Origins. As I pop in here, I'm a fawn, as this is a data pack. You can find that in the description as well if I did it right. And Vesper's a fawn of sorts, so in Pathfinder he's actually labeled as a Gonzi because of the fact that we don't have a fawn race. If we did, he probably would still be a Gonzi, though he is a fawn in the stories. He's a weird-like fawn. In the stories, for his backstory, he is a fawn-like creature that has various different animal-like appearances tacked on to what a normal fawn would have. He is, though identifies as a male, he is actively a gender-neutral technically. A gender-neutral creature technically. The reason for this is mostly because the fact is he is a dream character, a bard, a young bard when she was actually growing up and not knowing she had bardic powers when she was a young child, did not have many friends. So in doing so, she made up her own friends, which just happened to be an imaginary world where Vester comes into play, called Feytale. That's the realm that he's from. And in doing so, in the world which he will be played in, the stories of that world so happen to be books and things. She kind of made them into books and whatnot because she enjoyed them so much when she was playing with herself. And another part, because the fact is, the imaginary friends she would create eventually started becoming real, and that's where Vestal kind of comes into play. He kind of became her imaginary friend, and the parents found it very weird, and when they tried to get an exorcist to actively dispel the spirit or demon, devil, whatnot, that actually was possessing their child, they found out that this is less the fact that there was a malevolent creature attached to her, more the fact she was actually a bard, and in doing so, a lot of her bardic abilities were starting to show. And throughout the years, her imaginary friend took more life and sentience, and eventually one day, which would be the start of the campaign, Vester the Magician kind of somehow materialized in the primary campaign world, material plane, instead of being on the plane of dreams, which is where he should be. Because he is a creature of the dream plane, he functions a bit differently to what normal creatures would. Normal creatures, when they cast their spells, just so happen to have a great influx of magic happen and the spell go off as usual. Rarely is it otherwise. And my sister more likely to be the DM for that. So poor her, since the fact that she has a little, she realized a good while ago how much it takes to actually run as a DM. She started running to give me a break, so I would run almost every weekend. 2 days a weekend, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes Friday, for almost 5 years straight. That was insanity, especially for somebody who's still learning what it took to be a DM and learning what to do. I was learning the rules, trying to find my style, and eventually we switched over to Pathfinder. And this has been many, many years ago. Eventually, she started running, and this is where we're kind of at, where I'm currently playing a different character, not Vester. He hasn't been finished. He's a little bit of a nightmare to try to finish because of all the nuances. But because of playing Vester and he's from the Dream Plane, he fits really well as being a wild-blooded creature of sorts. And I don't mean he has a wild blood variant of his bloodline. I mean he casts wild magic. Periodically a magical event goes off that just so happens to potentially wreak havoc on him and everybody around him, or to potentially bolster or hinder creatures around him. This fits very well with the entire 5e sorcerer with their wild magic. But the features Vestor has, which makes him a Gonzian Pathfinder, very simple. And how much water is there? I keep forgetting to clear this stuff out. Okay, as I was saying, Vestor being able to cast magic differently. He, unlike a sorcerer, typically using arcane chants. Words in different languages. Abyssal, Infernal, potentially Draconic, Sylvan, which he'll be able to speak natively. He is able to cast specifically using rhymes and limericks real similar to that of a bard. In the world it comes into, bards always have to use song to be able to cast their spells. And in doing so, there's a lot of nuances to magic in particular. So, wild magic functions differently for him, and the conditions that trigger it aren't exactly very clear in Pathfinder, which is something I do envy 5e4. I'm a firm believer about that personally. 3.5 has a lot more options, which is both good and bad, while 5e has always had less options, but have also better fledged out certain options and simplified certain rules that honestly will never needed to be complicated to begin with. Wild magic being one of them. And as I've stated, when as a GM myself, I actively have personal opinions on how it should be. And I'll make custom rulings as I see fit. But yeah, what makes Vestor a Gonzi? Gonzis are very weird. They are like gnomes in Pathfinder, how their features can be very different than what any other race would have. Anybody who's went through Gnomes of Glorion can actively note that they can have wild mood hair, they can have animal features, and the Gonzi in particular just happens to pull this off much better than most of the races. The Gonzi, in short, is like a gnome on steroids for all the weird features they can just have. And with them being so abnormal is the appeal for this, and that's why he's a Gonzi. Beyond looking a lot like a fawn in particular, he has, of course, the fawn-like horns, one of which, for the story in particular, is actively broken because he actively fought a powerful drake known as Dak the Destroyer. The background on that one is, for the longest time, Dak the Destroyer was one of the first ever creatures created by the two primary head deities of the 9 deities, called Mistress Shadows and the Bright Fade. They are sisters, and they're both one of the only two creatures that are actively not slated with a class. They cast as certain casting classes, but they're not actively slated with a class. The purpose of a deity inside of the Fey realm, which Vestor comes from there, is you have mastered what your class would grant you, or you required in question 20 or more hit die. And in doing so, you get a bunch of magical benefits, a bunch of stat increases, because magical items that increase stats don't exist, and magical items that give +3 bonuses or higher, well, you're pretty done. It's pretty messed up. You can't get that right now. You can't. It doesn't exist. So, +3 is your highest. But permanent spells are kind of an abundance there. So there's a lot of limitations given. There's a bunch of custom creatures, and certain creatures function differently, such as damage reductions. Those only material damage reductions and magic. You do not have this alignment damage reduction. You don't have dash, so certain classes changed for descriptive narrative. But Vestor's features, which makes him his Gonzi, is he's a fawn. He's a fawn at heart. He physically looks like a fawn, except for a handful of unique features. His hair, though vibrant colors, actually ranges from a deep purple to a more vibrant blue, and then ends in tips of pink. He has a foxtail that actually ranges in that as well, and the furred legs, from being a fawn, range in the same colors. Range the same colors at the moment. I haven't decided if it's going to be like that, or what you can actually see if I take off my stuff. I need to, yeah, this. That works. If I take off my leggings and boots, just everything. You can see the skin I made right here. I can't really show you the horns on here, but the legs a little bit brown. I'm thinking about making it to where those are the primary features there for the legs. You can see he had little horns, and I do have Armor's Workshop installed, so I do have access to that because I do intend on eventually getting to the point of being able to build some of the NPCs within his story. And one of the primary ones I've been working on of late, because I do have bits and pieces of armor built for her, is the Bright Fairy. I wanted to use her as a good testing model, trying to figure out how to make wings flap. A lot of it is me editing older models and getting them kind of worked out, placed in different sections. I even took a bunch of pieces of different creatures and things and started using them for Vesta. I like the idea of this. I do truly like the idea of this. And at some point, if I really want to, I believe I have mods in mind that can actually hide armor. Speaking of, what does it actually take to actually craft those tables? Right over here somewhere. Let's see, we have the skin table. A bit of stuff. We have options. Armor's Workshop, though, I do truly believe is a mod that should specifically be used primarily for servers. I do feel that in this instance it's a great option. The NPC wand is something else altogether. It'll help with this. The doll the mannequin we acquire for this is useful as well. But the skinny library is what we're primarily going to be using. The entire intent of using Armor's Workshop is for me to eventually get to the point where I have enough built that I can start putting in NPCs. I'll be taking entities such as cows, chickens, pigs, villagers even, and set them up in certain areas which would be their home thing that they actually control. In the instance of the Bright Fairy, there is a celestial realm. What was that noise? Weird. Okay, sorry. There's a celestial realm. Not exactly heavenly, but it's a sky kind of kingdom that kind of floats above all else. It is a large celestial-like kingdom which she does govern over. The Bright Fairy governs over that. While there is a shadowy kingdom as well that Mistress Shadows does govern over. It is a realm of pure darkness and is the embodiment of most of the evil planes you would ever know. Abaddon, Nine Hells, the plane of shadows, negative energy plane, depending on your system. But there's one plane in particular that is different for that, and that's the Eastward plane, which is where some of the things I'm going to play. But yeah, Vester has several different features, and he has a long foxtail. He's a long foxtail, cat whiskers, a rabbit's teeth, cat eyes, wolf ears. He has macaw feathers ranging from the entire green, yellow, or the blue, green, and yellow in his hair, his fur, primarily on top of his head and in his tail. Those bits and pieces in his leggings. He does have, as you did see on the legs that I have, he does have a lot of unique features such as swirls, among other things, but they're just random markings on his legs. Yeah, I have a bunch of things already built for Vesta in particular. What they are is I have his horns. I have his horns, tails, ears. I think that's it. I don't remember. It's been forever and a day since I've actively looked at this. So, yeah. Now that we have you, thinking about it, we can actually just bloop, plop you in here. Yep. This is nuanced stuff we don't need on us at the moment. Well, these can stay. Let's see, sticks. Get you down. Yeah, those are the features Vester has, and that's why he's such a odd creature. He's odd strictly in the fact that he does not fit in the norm. He was not born. The entire gender thing never comes up in the stories beyond it says he kind of deal, so it's whatever anybody can really imagine. He's not meant to be anything one note. He's meant to be a friend, a companion, something where anybody can enjoy. And with anybody being able to enjoy him in particular, it's something important that he has to not exactly be specified as any one thing. Being specified as one thing is very limiting, and that's not exactly what he is. But in the end, he does actually have a great variety of different things he does use. He's weird. Some very unique features beyond the feathers and whatnot. He does have he's left-handed. He's left-handed. Left hand is that of what a normal human's hand would be, at least what you can imagine. Beyond the fact there's actually trails of baccaw feathers coming up from there from the wrist up, where you can see the right hand is that of a bird's hand, clawed. Same feathers going up the arm. You can't really see them too well. He has a plume of feathers coming from his chest. It looks much more kind of like a tie almost. He wears a great variety of... He wears, in particular, he wears a bit of... Okay, trying to think of my proper words. I'm getting a little twisted. Okay, taking a drink, reset. He wears like 1800s butler like clothes, as you've seen. I just should keep my armor off this point. Ignoring my backpack. He wears this entire like vest kind of deal, and though it doesn't work out well for his hand, you can see it was the left hand. That was bird. No, yeah, left hand is the bird. His primary hand. Yeah, sorry, I'm getting mixed up. But yeah, left hand the bird. Hand, it's clawed. It actually does damage, so it's a little refluff there, easily done. I've got so much sand. I farmed for a bunch of sand, as you can see. I got some nether bricks as well, which I want to use for the flooring, but that's not something to be done right now. Right now, I need to work on trying to get this wall built. I don't know how much of anything I'm going to be using. So, yeah. Let's see, our primary blocks are here. No, not that. Calcite. Okay. Now, I had some ideas for this. I'm going to have some windows. This is going to be going up into the sky. I just don't know how high. I didn't mean to rhyme. But yeah, there's a handful of worlds. Well, in Vester's world, there is a variety of interesting, nuanced details. In his world, there are only so many classes, and inside of a 5e campaign it will be less limiting because of how things are handled. Certain things like wizard is used for in place of witch, which is what one of the primary classes are. The wizard doesn't exist, in short. Wizard does not exist, which is weird in most instances, and dramatic in others. Sorcerers don't exactly take their place, witches do. Shamans, clerics, and druids exist. Rangers exist. Paladins don't. Fighters do. Rogues do. Barbarians do as well. I'm trying to remember all the bards, definitely, as I've kind of already mentioned. Monks don't. Every other class really doesn't exist too much. And I've even limited down for descriptive narrative. Prestige classes. Agent of the Grave is a nice little one that actually lets you be able to play as a very powerful necromantic character. And as said necromantic character, you just so happen to get a bunch of powers over death. And with your powers of death come a lot of unique problems, but most of them are easily solved by what it grants you. In short, the entire Prestige class is dedicated to transforming you practically into a lich. That's not what it's limited to be fair, but that's primarily what it screams. It screams that you are becoming a lich. And that's what it does for you there. Instead of its normal capstone of giving you bonuses to becoming a lich or any other undead, no. Don't get mistaken. That does not happen. Instead, you get the Plaster, you get the undead typing, so you get the resurrection. Nothing else, really. That is what a lich is for you as a character in that world. Okay. Maybe not. But yeah, there's so many changes, it's unreal. But the planes of existence. There's only a small handful. We have the material, like you would normally plan, unless you're doing a planes hopper. We have the Umbra, which is the Dark Realm, which Umbra, of course, just means dark in general. It's kind of the name that I kind of gave it. So we have the Umbra, we have, I forget what I named the Celestial Realm exactly. We have the Celestial Realm then, we'll label that for now. We have the Ethereal Plane, which is where a lot of problems come into play for the story of why Mistress Shadows and the Bright Fairy don't get along. Back at the dawn of creation, the Bright Fairy and Mistress Shadows were the first beings to be created out of the realm of magic. When they were born from the realm of magic itself, there was a subtle shift in power as they proceeded to create an ideal realm for themselves. The ideal realm was one not bound by typical restrictions. One where they could actively build what they wanted, see life flourish, and grow as entities themselves, since they don't really know where their creation kind of came about from. They just know they were born from it. They were born from the will of what is called the Voice. The Voice is an entity that is more of a belief kind of thing than actual creature. It is the belief that a creature of all-knowing power of sorts just exists. It's everybody and nothing at the same time. It is the embodiment of the choice of what you have. As you grow, so does it grow. It grows in power, and eventually, once you master it, it just so happens to be a part of you as well. It's your divinity. It's you. It's you. It's everyone you've ever interacted with. It is the world. If something bad happens, this entity is not exactly always to blame because it's everybody. It's very complicated to try to explain, just thinking about it. So, yeah. Thinking about it, I've kind of made this very complicated. But the Voice is not so much a creature of sorts, it just so happens to be a thought. It's a thing that exist and don't exist at the exact same time. Well, some people worship the voice as a deific-like entity, but in the end, it's not. It's no more deific entity than any commonplace person. So we kind of just, when going through it, I'm kind of having to decide so many details. But Dawn of Creation, what is known by the deific creatures at least, which I don't all have names for. We have the knowledge from the divine creatures that the voice in particular created Mistress Shadows and the Bright Fairy. They then in turn created the realm and created all creatures that live and reside within the planes of existence. Some are evil, some are good, some are neutral, some chaotic, some lawful. It varies on creature to creature, kind of like it does in the material plane. This here is the accumulation of several different planes of existence as well. Many of them just kind of accumulate. As the material plane is kind of an accumulation of the elemental planes, the Feywild, the material plane, and that's about it from memory. Yeah, that's about it. So, perfect. The entire instance of the different planes of existence, way heavy at this point as they're being created, and in doing so, eventually, early on, the Bright Fairy and Mr. Shadows created creatures. Dwarves, elves, humans, so many creatures. Gnomes, halflings, goblins. And with this, they realized since the birth of magic in their realm, which was kind of a thing that always existed, they had to deal with some details of creatures potentially wanting to jump between planes, and doing so would disrupt some of the balance there. So they created something that eventually became named the Scaled King, which is the first dragon to ever have existed. It's a powerful dragon that cannot actively be killed easily. Okay, you know the Tarask's ability to be able to just come back from the dead kind of thing? It kind of has that. It is a... it started off as a simple creature, kind of like a norm of sorts. And then it transforms quickly into a chaotic creature of doom and gloom, as the Bright Fairy and Mr. Shadows have to learn very quickly the consequences for giving creatures unlimited power without the ability to be able to limit it initially. They didn't know that the consequences for giving a creature so much unyielding power would have been that it just so happened to turn out being evil. Extremely evil. It is a chaotic evil creature that just so happens to be able to have a bunch of unique abilities. The first one is the most common one to be seen in combat, as it is able to vomit up a line of acidic stomach goop, because it looks horrific. It is, the best way of describing it is a large Lenorm-like creature. Of course, frontal head, horns, you have the frontal clawed arms, whatnot. Except for the fact that the entire body is made out of what looks to be rotting flesh and ichor. It projectile vomits everything up, yeets itself at you, basically. And it proceeds to, I believe, sicken you and deal you damage and slowly melt in your flesh. And because of that, it's not exactly a very preferred creature. So, yeah, it's not nice. I'm doing too many of these patterns. Get this down. Down one. There we go. And yeah, I'm gonna call that go for the height. That was a lot of damage. Oh yeah, I can make scaffolding now. I should probably go do that. Do I have any string? Probably not. But yeah, after the creation of this creature, which was initially meant to be a guardian for the ethereal realm, which is the realm of transportation, whenever you use a spell that transports you from one place to another, you use something called the Mist. The Mist is a very different phenomenon that mostly happens within the Feywild realm, as it takes you from one place to another. It is a random event where an area will become very fogged over, and because of that, people will inevitably transport across the world. It could be just as simple as a few feet to, well, to be fair, the other side of the world. So it's not something that most people want to mess with. But when creatures do, they inevitably get to the point of trying, when the creatures do try to use the Mist, it can have consequences. The more people use the Mist, the more often it randomly appears. And because of the induction of there being multiple different spells that exist to be able to transport creatures, many creatures who use it frequently, actively, have disappeared. So that's what kind of got Vester to the material plane. The Mist is what got him to the material plane, though he does not know how it got him to the material plane. He doesn't know that it did either. So, yay on that part. But the Mist got him to the material plane, and because of this creature being used to guard, in particular, it's bound there. It can't get out. But with people who wander through the Mist that randomly appears because of the use of transportation magic, it just so happened to cause this creature to appear randomly. It appears sometimes because the fact is, creatures that travel through the Mist can actively end up on any destination across the entire realm of existence. It can be as simple as traversing to one location to another on the material plane, the plane where he's from, at least Vester's from, to transport immediately to another plane of existence. And if you do, sometimes you can end up in the ethereal realm, his domain, and that's where stories of this creature have come up. This creature of true, utter horror has shown up on many different occasions, as they have people just kind of come to know him as Scaled King. Scaled King, called that because he is true horror. He is the only entity to have ever been born there and has been created. So, yeah, creatures who traverse the material plane must be careful. Because this pattern's starting to look pretty good, honestly, in my opinion. But when they created this creature, Mistress Shadows and they just happened to realize the mistake. They gave something unlimited power practically because they don't even know how to kill it. And in doing so, it started wreaking havoc, and eventually they had fallen out because Mistress Shadows wanted to try to create more creatures to be able to help defend and fight said creature. But Mistress Shadows learned from this mistake that sometimes you should just let things be. Some things should be left be, and in doing so, giving creatures so much power is not a good idea. So, they had a falling out, and eventually, to try to prove the point, Mr. Shadows built Vester. Now, there's a couple of unique rules the deities have to follow. First off, you create an entity, you cannot actively name it. If you name it, it just so happens to give you unyielding control over it, which is practically enslavement. And with that being a law for the world, it became a thing where, because Vesta wasn't named, because she didn't give him one, because she couldn't, she created him specifically to be an example of why doing such an act as making a creature can have so many consequences. The fear it can induce in people. Vesta kind of went on a rampage as he kind of started losing his shit. Sorry for language. But it's the best way I know how to explain it is he started losing it a little. And because of that, he wasn't himself. Eventually, the Bright Fairy took pity on him and gave him a name, naming him Vester. Later becoming known as Vester the Magician. So, that is the story of how Vester kind of came to be. A little bit, at least. So, yeah, fun in creation. I honestly love creating characters and NPCs. It's kind of why I pair up so well running as a DM, but I don't want to do it all the time. I kind of started getting used to just running non-stop. Now I realized what I did here. I just set that up a little. Okay, to break the nuance, let's break you. Yeah, let's break you. Yep. Might as well break you while we get through. Okay, let's see. So, he got named Vester the Magician. And with that, it did cause him to eventually choose to reside in with what later became the princess of Faytale, which is, well, the Faytale's the world. I don't have a name for the large island city. At least I don't believe I do. But the princess there just happens to be a cleric of the Bright Fairy, and with that kind of comes about the fact that Dak, later on, one of the last things that they actually built together. Mr. Shadows and the Bright Fairy built Dak the Destroyer. He chose to use that name himself instead of what they originally called him. Mostly because he despises most good things. He has a greed that creatures usually don't have when they're created like this. The greed he possesses is one for power and not so much for gold, which most dragons usually have. Because of this immense lust for power, he was driven to try to take what was his, at least what he thought was his. And because of that, Princess Diana, I believe that's what I named her as. I'm not very inventive, to be completely honest. Not inventive, really. So, yeah. So, Princess Diana just happened to start off being a budding cleric. And because of this, it caught the attention of Dak, who wants to possess all forms of immense power for himself. The power which is possessed by... The power is possessed mostly by Mr. Shadows is not what he desires because it's very limited. Because hers is not exactly the power of good. He's powerful enough as it is. He kind of reveres Mr. Shadows with a profound appreciation for his creation and kind of side with her a little bit more. But ultimately, it comes down to she's good, he's evil kind of deal. She's good, he's evil, and that's kind of the reasonings in my mind behind the desire to take over. But it ended up being he tried to take over, and in doing so tried to capture the power of what Diana was actually acquiring thanks to being a budding cleric. By taking over bits and pieces of that power, it ended up being her parents were destroyed. They were utterly annihilated, to be completely honest. A dragon is something to truly be feared in most instances, and this is no exception. He breaks the law of usual nuances of the dragon kind. He, unlike a regular drake who possesses immense magical power, well, physical power. Okay, in short, the Drakes in Pathfinder actively function a little differently. They don't have a damage reduction, don't have an SR, they don't cast spells. Instead, they have two unique abilities that make them actually dragon-like. They can spit a large ball of... Yeah, they can spit a large ball of elements, which they can actually breathe. And with that, kind of like hacking stuff up, they do happen to, more limitedly, though I've got to say more limitedly, have the ability to be able to speed up. They can take an extra move action per round. And with that unique ability of theirs, they are known for mostly being a tremendous threat in combat. Him, on the other hand, he is not the most intelligent creature in existence, but he does have a wicked intelligence of his own right. The intelligence which he has just happens to be one that drives him forward to complete his goals. He wishes for power beyond that of any mortal's reckoning, and the Bright Fairies, being cleric spellcasting in short, gives him all the power that he desires, which would be assumed to be immortality. Dragons are pretty much immortal inside of Esther's world. As it is, they don't age. And in doing so, having the ability to be able to heal any wound that he might be able to be affected by, that's something he desires. Because he does fear one weapon in particular. He resists all forms of damage, mundane and magical, to an extent. There are certain exceptions to this. While the Bright Fairy has the ability to be able to make wondrous items, Mistress Shadows being the more violent of the two, which, another reason, because she acts as a entity of death. She's death, pretty much. Charon as well. She has the ability to create weapons and armor magically. So, realizing the mistake that kind of happened because of their little spat, Mistress Shadows created a singular weapon meant to be able to truly do harm to Dak. It is called the Sylvan Blade. It is a bronze blade that glows with the light of a torch. It has little bits of sparkling light, similar to that of fairy fire, kind of just glowing on it. As a +1 limiting blade, any creature that he strikes just so happens to glow as they become outlined, making to invisibility doesn't work. It was meant to be a weapon just to defeat all forms of evil, so if something like this happened again by pure accident, it would not be that big of an issue. Because the true issue comes down to what happens when Dak tries to take over, because taking over, he's a threat. If he gets a hold of the Bright Fairy's power, even for himself, just for himself, that's it. He can heal. He had the one thing he does not have is magical capabilities. Most things have magical capabilities in this world, and he is not one of them. Physically, he resists magic. He is something that is anti-magic, in a way. So, with him being such a big threat, he wants it, and the Bright Fairy invented the blade known as the Sylvan Blade because of one part pity for the mortals that actively have to deal with the consequences of their actions. Because they created Dak, it has caused a tremendous uproar and death as he wakes up quite frequently to wreak havoc beyond all mortal recognition. But with that little bit of kindness she did give, she built the Sylvan Blade. It is the only weapon he fears because the fact is it was one that he does recognize to have been built specifically just to kill him. Because of that little fear, he truly does despise anybody who can acquire it. Now, it's a hidden weapon that eventually Vestig acquires. It's one of the two only true magical items he does actively possess himself. Vestig possesses two unique magical items. First one being the Sylvan Blade, which I'm kind of just mentioning here now entirely, and the other one is his staff. In short, it's a staff of tricks. It's not that useful. What it does is, I believe, minor image, mage armor, and magic missile. There are so much worse than this one item. So it's really weak, and he'll be able to recharge it himself, which is great, but it does come with the unique thing of he has a staff at whatever level he starts off at. So yeah, he has two magic items to his name, and they're not too powerful overall, but it is a unique item. So yeah, that's kind of Vestig's gear a little bit. But because they built this one horrific monster known as the Scale King, Vestig was born, and both the Bright Fairy and Mr. Shadows fought tooth and nail. They fought near to the death. Inevitably, they were kind of evenly matched. And this, in last-ditch effort that Mr. Shadows had to be able to defeat the Bright Fairy. The Bright Fairy got cursed by Mr. Shadows. She cursed her with weak physicality. Poison's more effective against her because of this. And with her being in this weakened state, her physical strength is much weaker. Now, in between the two, Mr. Shadows is more physical than she is, well, more strength-based and dexterity. They're kind of a mirror opposite of each other. The Bright Fairy is your stereotypical fairy, but medium-sized. She's your stereotypical good goddess. She's chaotic good. And justify the means for good. Anything can be good in that instance. So, with that little detail in mind, well, lawful evil for Mr. Shadows, as Mr. Shadows doesn't believe that power should be given so freely, and that creatures should have to work and pay for their insolence, for their misdeeds. And even though that is a evil way of thinking, she knows that is a necessity of hers. She's required to be evil because that is what she's accepted, that is her role. And she does so with pride. She's kind of vain in that instance. But they're mirror opposites of each other. The Bright Fairy and Mistress Shadows, they got the names kind of by the fact that the Bright Fairy works with sunlight. In short, she is the god of the realm, primarily functions off of earth, animals, and whatever. I have information in a document actually, but I'm just not going to get into too much detail there. It's a lot of detail. So, with the duality, both from Mistress Shadows is strength based. She attacks with strength instead of dexterity, which is what Bright Fairy does. Bright Fairy's charisma or wisdom based. The Mistress Shadows just so happens to have a high intelligence. As Mistress Shadows was able to quickly identify the consequences of both of their actions, she then quickly wanted to rectify this. She wanted to fix this because any creature having unlimited power like that is not great. If she were to give anybody else like that unlimited power, it could spell the doom for their world. She fears that aspect, and that's what makes her choose to go down the path of evil. She has to be the evil force because she does not want the realm to be destroyed. But at the same time, since they had to fallen out, they do not work well together. There is something called the High Council, which is a council of beings inside the Fey realm. And what they mostly compose of is Diana the Princess and a handful of other representatives of the different 9 deities. So, yeah, that's that. Let's see, make sure this is still streaming. Warning, the stream's currently bitrate is low. I know. Open widgets. Yeah, warning, it says I'm good. Moment. Analyze. Anything. Stream health. Yeah. Okay, cool. So, continuing. With all these interesting details that I've kind of come up with, because they work so differently, the realm has been shifted and shaped. There's 9 deities in particular, 2 of which are Mistress Shadows and Mistress Shadows and the Bright Fairy. I don't have names for all of them, but I do have some encompassed details about them that I can just share a little bit. I love working on NPCs. I love working on world bits, which, like I kind of mentioned, is why it suits me so well to run as a DM if I'm running D&D. And because of this, I do have a lot of experience with all my manner of details. It's kind of, I've talked to my sister a little bit, and as she started learning how to run as a DM, trying to figure out the nuances of the game system, even she's kind of agreed with me that it is not exactly healthy to have somebody that is so adept being able to do anything practically for the game and be able to do it within like say 24 hours practically and have an entire campaign set up. It sounds impressive. There's a lot of sacrifices I've given for this. Sacrifices I've given for this has been time. To start off with, I've sacrificed my own personal desires, endeavors. I've sacrificed YouTube in the past. There's so many spotty upload schedules I've done, and I realized I was harming myself more than what I should have. But I did learn a bunch of the nuances of the game system. So, as I did grow, it has reached this point. Now there's 9 deities. I have some names. One of the primary deities that I can focus on at the moment is Ashura, which is a Egyptian-like goddess. She's a goddess of fire. She's actively a barbarian. Now, when you reach 20th level or 20 hit die, you get access to some very interesting details. You get 20 APIs, you get a bunch of spell-like abilities that associate with you as a deity. You get your domains you get to choose to be able to grant. And when you do so, you typically get some spells based off your alignment as well. How much am I? 19. Close. No sense in doing it out of stone or iron, so just make a wooden sword. But yeah, with the aspect of Vesta being a complicated thing like this, I'm building 9 deities. Let me restate. I have yet to finish building any form of deity stat block. You're basically, in this case, building a 20th level character with so many more nuances and rules, since I've actively overly complicated certain things. Becoming a deity has never been straightforward, to be truthful. It has never been straightforward. Unless you're talking about like 3.5, I believe, and since, well, 3.5, I could take off that, since Pathfinder is a 3.5 system. I didn't want to. I wanted to make it a little more simplistic, and I did make it more complicated myself. I wanted to put my own spin on it to give an idea. There's Ashura, which is a barbarian. She is a barbarian, the only barbarian god there is at the moment. There's 9, 1 for each alignment types, including neutral. Ashura, being the barbarian deity, just so happens to cover the realm of fire. She governs fire, rage. It's a complicated, nuanced story for that one, but in short, she's a desert goddess. Harpies are one of the few creatures in the realm that do not have magic of their own. Harpies, in this case, typically are very bardic-like creatures in their own right, so they sometimes tend to get bard-like spells if they go down the path of becoming a bard. Her, on the other hand, she was always viewed as the desert goddess, as she was actively the queen for a very large kingdom. And this kingdom, eventually, when she got married, had great celebrations, and, well, because of a rival kingdom, her husband died, and that's what triggered her rage to begin with. She always had rage in particular, but the rage that grew within her, because of the loss there, conjured up into her being able to manifest her godly powers. It's always a traumatic, it's not always a traumatic event, but it's always a very visual event for it to happen. Something triggering it. It's just because you reach 20th level doesn't mean the amount automatically goes, hey, deity. No, it's a thing, something triggers it. You have to have some event trigger it. Usually it is an immense amount of stress. Something that causes you to push yourself to your limits. And in doing so, when you do reach that limitations, it's not as simple though as a spellcaster, by the way, just casting every spell that they can for the day. No, you have to exceed your limitations. You have to go through great efforts to become one. That is primarily what's known. It's known how you become a deity. It is. You reach the pinnacle of your power, and then you have to have an event that forces you to have to exceed that limit. And that's what triggers it. But for her, it was that. In doing so, it manifests fire magic, and now she is a god of chaos and fire. I have a bunch of other ones I haven't exactly named. Let's see, I have a god of magic, just so happens to... excuse me. I have a god of magic, which just so happens to be a fletchling, which is one of the races, being of pure shadow. I have a merfolk god, which encompasses, well, back a little bit. The god of magic functions as a witch. He is a 20th level witch, and he is, what makes him a deity in particular is he's the only person to have ever been able to successfully transform into a dragon. Some of the most powerful creatures are dragons anyways, and he's one of the first creatures to ever to be able to transform into one. For that to have happened, he would have had to reach the pinnacle of his own power and had to have exceeded it at one point in time. As he became a deity, he eventually reached a point where he got into great fights, and because of trying to research magic, it got him to great dangers. He faced a very powerful Fey-like creature, which is a being of the Umbra. It is this large bat-like creature. I forget its exact name, but I also have it here in my notes. Anku is the name. The Anku, basically Anku, this immensely powerful Fae, to be honest. Anybody who's seen his stat block in Pathfinder knows how terrifying this thing truly is to face. It is so unnecessarily powerful. But facing it, it forced him to have to exceed his limitations, and with one spell, he actually successfully did so. Exceeding his physical limitations and transforming into a dragon, as the form of the dragon spells. And thus becoming a deity in his own right. The merfolk god, I still haven't worked on enough to be able to give details for, other than it's a merfolk and a shaman. Similar to oracles and witches. They kind of take bits from both. But there's no oracles, and they kind of take the place of a lot of divine casting, seconded by druids. We have, beyond that, we have a rogue god, ranger god, sorry, notes. As a ranger, the ranger god there, she is the god of travel, mostly. Her with her large cat companion. We have, oh yeah, this one is named Sylvia. Which one was that? Oh yeah, Sylvia. I forgot about that. Sylvia is a drow bard. She is another god in particular. Or did I get the notes wrong for that? Liberation Travel, that was her, yeah. Heck. I got the notes wrong. I've really got to reorient some of these things. That one ready? Okay. So as the god of travel, she is a very interesting creature herself, as I do have bits of backstory for her. Let's see, window here and here, right? Yeah. So, when Sylvia became a deity, what made her a deity was she found one of the most horrifying creatures to ever have existed. The most horrifying creature still, no matter what, has to be denoted to being, well, to be truthful, the Scale King. But there is one creature that is nearly as terrifying and sadistic as that creature, known as the Chaos Child. The Chaos Child is another god. The Chaos Child takes on the form of a chaotic entity. No one knows the true origins exactly of what race this entity was. This creature just happened to function as a protean sorcerer. Protean sorcerer, source of chaos, to begin with. As a protean sorcerer, this entity known currently as the Chaos Child became born from their obsession with perfection, control of their own chaotic power, and in doing so, it eventually destroyed their physicality, and what was left behind was this chaotic thing known as the Chaos Child. A creature of immense power, but true horror, as its entire intent is to torture and kill all forms of life. Now, that is not exactly the true horrific part. Don't I have a resource pack for this? Is this it? I believe it is. But the Chaos Child became born as a magical spirit-like being. It's almost like a ghost. The only way to destroy it is you gotta destroy the physical body, which is actually manifested into. And then you can actually destroy its spirit. The problem with this is it's so difficult. The spirit of this creature latches on to what it prefers to latch on to, being children. That did nothing. Try this one. So, the Chaos Child latches on to creatures, and the reason why it's called the Chaos Child in particular is because it loves to latch on to children. It tortures them with the worst fears, until inevitably it warps them and takes full control and starts degrading their body until they become this withered husk-like creature with crackling bits of chaotic magic left over. Okay, there we go. That's cool, that's nice. Right there, yep. Great. So, the Chaos Child being born, it takes this form, and eventually, after this transformation is finished, the creature's soul has been completely devoured, continuing to fuel its own deathly urges. With the true horror of what it is, Sylvia found it one day, and seeing the true horror of what this entity was, being one of the first people to ever see it, and to be honest, facing down a literal god, a god of chaos and torment. With the torture that this entity has caused, it also became a deity because of it. Its obsession with its own power made it progress to the deific realm. So, it's a god now, short. Sylvia fought it, and thanks to her bardic abilities, she was luckily able to defeat it the first time, not knowing that it would eventually come back. It eventually came back, and voila, here we are. But with it being a creature that comes back periodically, it remanifests, and that's where the horror truly starts all over again. But she fought it to the death, and what she thought was death, and because she was able to defeat this true manifestation of horror, she ascended to being a god herself. Okay, yeah, this is kind of what I'm seeing a little. With her being a god now, she actively works to defend a lot of the freedom people have, as she's a god of liberation. Okay, that's actually really good. Let's do that around here periodically. So yeah, she defends a lot of people and their freedom, and she travels from place to place, and she's one of the few deities that actively travels the immense expanses of the realm which has been created. She travels around from place to place, gaining more power, and she is another entity with a few magic items. So yeah, there's the Chaos Child and Sylvia for her short story for how they come about. And the last one is Thistle. Thistle is a halfling druid. He functions off of the more natural aspects of the world. Plants is primarily his specialty and what his focus is. So there's that. If there's anything I need to change with it, I intend on doing so, of course, later in the future, as I'm still working on backstory. But Thistle, I don't have too much backstory for, besides the fact he is a lover of the natural world. He seeks to commit balance, being an abundant thing, though he does not have ultimate control over that happening. So, Druid and all, they're powerful. Those are the 9 deities of the Fatal world. And I think I might actively run a campaign eventually, with this being the campaign world, just because I have so much information I'm working with. Who knows, though? Who knows? Because I don't. That's something for sure. Go ahead, fill this in, because I'm going to have to do some terrain building a little. Grass is going to be a pain to get to grow. Yep, fill this in a little. So yeah, Thistle is one of the primary gods of nature to an extent. As the head primary force for nature, he focuses on growing plants. Mushrooms being in his baseline, because I'm using a lot of mock images that I found online. A bunch of good ones. I don't own any of them, mind you. They're not my right to actively repurpose or sell, but I do appreciate art like that. I love it when people actively are able to get so creative with what they do. My sister gets into art a lot herself, so there's a bunch of unique benefits. She loves to draw and periodically draws her characters and characters of other people who's currently playing in her campaign or my campaign. And I highly suggest eventually checking her out if I ever remember to put in a link to her Twitter page. Maybe get in contact, see some of the stuff she's done. Maybe then. This feels a little... That feels right, but I'm not sure. It feels window should be here. It feels a window should be here, and as fine as that is, I'm gonna have to take this down. Man, okay. I'm still trying to work out. I'm free building, in short. Let's see. Free building is fun and all, but it does come with the pain of having to take down your stuff. Okay, let's see. Get these kind of set up. So now let's see, there was this here and concrete powder. Let's see, it was here and here. I'm gonna need more glass panes. Okay, where they are. Might as well do a little bit extra. 32. That sounds perfect to me. Okay. Window. I'm not good with interior, to be honest. I'm not good with interior at all. Exterior is even questionable. I try my best, to be honest, but it's not it's not that satisfying to look at usually. What do we have? Bamboo. Okay. Bamboo fencing. Put you here for now. We can take a look. Just a little bit of a look-see. See what you look like. I haven't really messed with bamboo much. I need to. Okay, that looks so much better. That looks so much better than this. It's too white-ish. I need this bamboo. Bamboo's doing a lot of work here. So, a lot of bamboo. Let's see, 4 and 4. Do that. And boom, we're back. 12. That'll do. I love how it's a bit looks. It gives the illusion a little bit that it's thicker when it's not. It's really good coloration. I should really just use more bamboo. I started to experiment with it, but then me and my family had to stop playing on our server, Realms, Bedrock specifically. I started Bedrock. I admit it. I started Bedrock, and because of it, I've had a lot of fun playing Minecraft with my family, but the problem is the lag. For those who don't know, or just haven't truly experienced it for themselves, the lag is so unimaginably painful. Random times you take damage, random times it just decides that, oh, I don't know, any block you place gets unplaced and then placed back. You take damage and die at the weirdest things. You fall through random things. It's so unnecessary. Let's see. I have another idea for this, and it's turning nighttime. My idea changes a little bit here. Yeah, I started working on with a bit of bamboo, and I did not get much time to experience it there, and I forgot it existed afterwards. Scaffolding is my primary use for it, so yeah. With this, let's take this down a little so I have some extra. Okay, we are going to experiment a little. Let's place you there. Since I know what you're going to be like, let's put you there so I can then... Ow. Stop falling. Let's see. Get off because I'm just sinking down. Back up. There we go. Okay, take this out. Give a little bit of an illusion. I'm gonna have to make more. I can't avoid it. Give a little bit of an illusion that this is a little bit more filled than what it really is. Those there for now. And they actually might stay. Let's see. I think I can get it here. I might. There we go. Huh. It looks decent, honestly. It looks decent, and it gives the illusion a little bit that it's actually thicker than what it really is. Thicker and more detailed. I didn't mean to get down there. Okay, back up. I need that calcite. That's my calcite. Come on, get up. Calcite, yes. Okay, bamboo, I say. That's bamboo. Gonna need plenty more of these. 10 implements of this. That works for me. 24. That's a good start. Yep, let's break you. Heck. Okay. 2. Let's see. Go ahead, you. And now I'm gonna have to break you for this. Let's do this. Yeah, didn't mean to place you there, but whatever. At least this way, I can hang little bits of lanterns down as well. Especially when doing something like this. corner there. Perfect for a little lantern. So you can just hang it here. Let it shine. Because I believe I have different lantern colors. I do. Okay, I have so many different lantern types. Glowing bulb. I don't know where this comes from. Which is problematic. Where? Better end? Okay, better end. Better end. So much to do with better end. Why is there so much in better end? Because it's better. That's why. And these are still from better end. Okay, there's so much. The heck? I love how there's so much in here. But man, is it not dangerous. Come on. There we go. It's a little stubborn. Okay, for now, let's use cobblestone as a good basis. That'll be in place of our actual spots. Let's see. If I just do this. Back up a little bit more. No, that's not what I want. I need to break you. Okay. Thinking about it, actually. Do that. I forget this is a feature. Okay. Up, up. And lastly, you. Because I need to do you then. Nope. You almost fell, you sneaky, sneaky piece of wood. Now you're just being a pain. I just like working with stairs. Because of these little issues. And if I leave it like that, as an example, I can... How does this look? I mean, not that in particular, but it does let me use for support. Okay, this is an interesting idea. I'm loving this idea. Okay, there's gonna be so many layers to this. It's unreal. Let's quickly put you there. Put you there, move across. Yep, break those. Is that up? I need that. Gimme. Thank you. That works. Like, really, really well. Awesome. Mind you, I probably would replace that a little. Let's see. For you, let's do that. Probably would replace you with that one in particular. Place it there and yes, that looks phenomenal. It's a little bit. It's gonna be a little bit symmetrical when I'm done with this, but who cares? This looks awesome. Okay. Fine. So stubborn. Okay, get up here. I'm curious now. If it looks so good there, let's do this then. You're not picking up for... Yeah, I'm full. Oh, man. Okay, place you there. Yeah. Okay. with this in mind, place you there. Skin this piece of log. Okay, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that works. Well, I know what I'm doing over here then. Let's place you here. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and need a bit of these. Let's place you in the offhand. Let's see, I don't have any more stretching this way. I'm gonna have to build some stairs. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna be doing over here exactly. So there's that. But this is working very well actually. Let's see, rune. That there. Whatever, that works. I just need extra stairs. There we go. 13 will do. No, no, don't you be a sneaky. And I've also got to fill in you. Yep, let's build a handful more. There. There. Yeah, and there, and there. No, you don't want to place right. Come on. That should do it. Mind you, after this, I'm going to have to get more logs. See, where to place them? In here, yeah. Perfect. Yep, back up. Doop de doop de doop. I should get that off my hotbar offhand. Moment be, and I need to clear some of my inventory. This is why the backpacks are useful, but I am still running out of space. Yeah, space. Great, now you're raining. Causing extra lag. Yep. There you are. And if I do this real quick. Perfect. Let's see. You will be getting this treatment. So will you. Pick that up, yeah. Okay, and if I climb back up. Building does take a long time. I'm loving how this looks so far. It adds a much needed bit of complexity. Which, to be honest, I've been lacking a little. I've also been neglecting my pigs. Gotta feed the pigs so I can, not myself, Come on. There we go. Feed the pigs. Okay, let's see. We are so close. We're so close to another level. Unreal. There we go. Now, if we do this, fail. And these weapons that do more than 6 attack power. That's an issue. What we gain is so powerful. The less armor we wear, the faster we become. I am so fast. So fast. Now I need to test out my runes. My rune stuff. Where is amethysts? I have some somewhere, but I don't know where they are. Where did I put those? There they are. And 5 will do. While using this table, we just happen to create some very potent gems. 42! I'm curious. If we do this, okay, it doesn't defeat you yet. See, agility, attunement 3, arcane charge. Okay, we also have our wizard level. Now we have to pick our path in a moment. Signature ability, we get 2 signature abilities. We get 1 from being a wizard and 1 when we ascend to our divine realm of godlikehood. So, for this path, what am I going to do? Let's see, there's echo. Your spells hit with a chance to echo with additional random spell effect. We have Meteor Swarm. Oh, that's intriguing. Let's see, static discharge. Release a high damage electrical discharge at your target, inflicting them with weakness. See, arcane bolt. Fire a concentrated bolt of arcane energy at your target. Yeah, we're gonna have to defeat enemies with this unique spell list. Let's do some of that real quick, see if it affects anything. Man, my spells are weak. Yeah, I didn't mean to place. Nope, nope. Man. Well, that's my fault for leaving you in my offhand. Do that. Okay, back to this then. We did that, we got a little bit of XP here, and did we get any XP here? Very, very little. Yeah, very little. 2% spell power. I need so much god dang spell power. It's unreal. Let's see, I don't know what my true damage power is. Is there a control for that? Key bindings. Let's see. I mean, K is the one that opens the menu. No. 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 Alas, the answer is no. Well, okay. So we have this built fairly well. I love this connection here. Though I do feel that the bottom bit is missing something. What are you missing? So let me flip this back again. Agility 4? Okay. Agility 5. Agility 6. Or 7 or something. Just a little late. I'm not good with Roman numerals when it's this late, but what do we have access to? Let me see. Bamboo again. We can skin you. Okay, yeah, let's see. There's no way of just doing that, so let's see what does it look like if I just skin you and place you there. Intriguing, but not exactly perfect. I feel we're close to something, but I'm not sure what it should be then. Check for sleeping purposes. Yeah, no. Okay. Let's go through what items we have available real quick. We have pillared forms of view. That's not what I'm doing. Polished. It's for. I feel that we're missing something, and I'm not sure what it is. The irritation that does cause. What are we missing? It's not this. This is awesome. I can hang some things from there. But it's something to do with these. I don't know. Like, this is great. I like that. But what am I missing? What am I missing? Definitely not in stone. I guarantee that. Oops. That's not something I meant to do. Okay, quartz. It's no. No, not quartz. Close to something, but I don't know what it is. I can feel it. I can, truly. Feels a little off because of this, to be honest. Do this. Okay, then let's try Finsgate through there to see if it does any good. But I need more of this bamboo stuff. Okay, let's see. 2 sticks. Crafted the wrong ones. Dang it. It's late. It's late. I have full right to be messing up like I'm doing. Just the one, right? Yeah, I'm gonna need 2 more, so that means... yeah, I gotta craft more again. Okay, 2 and the 2. And now I need more sticks. It's a never-ending cycle with this. Okay, fine. I'll do your bidding of crafting. Not to make a mistake. Right? No, I'm doing it right. Like I said, it's late. Okay, yep. No, but I'm getting closer. Yeah, I said I have a specialization. Yeah, not exactly what I'm looking for. No. No, but this doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, actually. Oh, that works so well. Okay. This bamboo thing is awesome. But this does mean I've got to collect more bamboo soon. And collect a bunch of more sticks. It should do me good for a little. Let's see, split these in half each. Let's see, get a bunch of these. 213 first. Nice little trim work. I can add a little bit of something down here as well. Can I put item frames? I believe I have item frames somewhere. If I can, that will be quite wonderful. Let's see. Item frames. Nope. Might have been thinking about something else though. Take that, I'm desperately needing sticks. No, I do. Nope, I do have item frames. Can't you just like... Yeah. And if I... Yeah, okay, so I can just... Interesting. Okay. Okay, I don't know what I'm missing with these, but this does wonders. Whatever it is here that I'm missing, this does wonders. This kind of looks good, but I think I can improve upon it. It's lacking something. I'm not sure what, but it's lacking something. No. Maybe. Maybe spruce planks. No, because it indicates it should be going that way as well. Though it does kind of work a little. Why do I have to make things so complicated for my own building? Quick idea. Flip this a little. That does work. That works surprisingly well. Yeah. Okay. Can I mimic it here? No, not without removing you. Okay. Let's see. Trying to flip something like this is a little difficult, to say the least. And yet, that looks pretty good to me. It's an interesting pattern. So, bamboo is not exactly the answer to my problems here. But this does wonders. You can see bits of it peeking through, which is beautiful. And you can also get bits and pieces of what this is supposed to look like. Craft some... No. Yes. Some slabs. Oddly, that looks worse. Okay. Yeah, oddly, that somehow looked so much worse. Little chips and pieces of what this actually looks like. Connects up there as well. Okay, awesome. And this does break a little bit of nuance of color, which is phenomenal. I love how this looks, though I do feel that this needs to have increments broken in. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 3. Yeah, something broken up here. Something broken up there would be so nice. Not like that. Down, I say. I mean, kind of. Kind of. I mean, it's not... Okay, it's okay. But it's not working with this. I mean... Maybe... We have bamboo stuff as well for this. Right. What other bamboo stuff again do we have? Okay, let's not be too hasty yet. Okay, that alone doesn't work. It's too thick. I need something subtle. Something subtle, but yet works well. Works well with what I'm looking for. I don't know. Don't know. Use those as markers for now. I mean, this one comes directly in line with that. And I'm going to put a lantern there. Back to... Yep, lantern. But there were these. Yeah, I'm going to collect that stuff later. No. I'm going to need the bulbs. And if I can find this. I gotta go to the end of that for that, though. It sucks. I mean, it's awesome looking. But, man, does it suck that I gotta go to the end. Bunch of iron nuggets. I would love the soul campfire. I mean, not soul campfire, but soul fire lantern. With this color. Do have a bunch of iron there as well. It would do a lot of good. So, soul sand, soul soil. We can use both. Getting that little bit of handy information. See, soil. I have soil here. Do I have sand? I do not have the sand variety. So if I wanted to, I could go sparse. Get very, very sparse on it. Say 4 So I have 4 torches. Here, not 4 torches, I need 4 of these. Okay. Go ahead and get this stuff back in here. See the 4. Yeah, we have 16, so it gives us plenty, and we need iron nuggets. We also need to sleep, so just do this in here. The nuggets. Now, let's see, this makes us 4 expensive little boogers you are. Okay, that's 1, 2, just immediately, 3, and I have an extra one which I can just put in my offhand for now, which of course will produce light. Okay, that does work a lot for lighting. It just feels empty for this wall. Almost like something should hang from it. What do I have chain-wise? See, I have special chains for you. I don't even... Better end. Okay, that answers these questions. Those are going to be a pain to differentiate. Yeah, I can't craft you either. Good thing I didn't want to. Right here, something missing. You need to break it up, maybe. Okay, let's see. Amethyst, I have the block. The block will be useful. Okay, I've been spending too much time on the outside. I've been spending too much time on the outside. I'm starting to burn out on it, to be honest. Put some of this up for now, because the nether brick I want to use on the inside. Now I have some references I can actually go to look up, to find, to see. Where did I put those notes? Love these notes. I've been taking it upon myself to actually look at a bunch of things people have done before and taking inspiration from that. And with that, I have been working on design ideas. This here should branch off to our primary bits. This here going from this point forward will be some type of either carpet or gemstone. What do we have brick wise? Thinking about it, what do we have bricked? Better end. There's a lot of things that look good from the better end. But we do have a few pages worth. Better end, and nether, actually. Nether stuff. Better nether. Ooh, obsidian. We have obsidian stuff. Oh yeah, we have obsidian. Yeah, obsidian. Obsidian. We have obsidian break, which increases speed of obsidian being broken. Let's see. We have the glass, which I will be definitely using. I need lava though. I really do. Start a farm for this stuff. And I can't get these. Not easily. Blue obsidian. Okay, there's no way of making blue obsidian. How, as far as I know, how do you get blue obsidian? It's better nether. That means I'm assuming something you gotta do in the nether. What is it though? Okay, blue obsidian. Yeah, the glass is nice. But do I have the shovel on me still? I do. Awesome. Though it's about to break. Okay. See, 6, that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 9, 10, 10. As this then should at least branch off to being, yep. See here, let's remove you actually. Okay, so that means yeah. This has turned out quite phenomenal in my opinion. See, that's 1, let's see, to count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that means Enderman near me because, you know, reasons. It's somewhere. But to be fair, I don't honestly care where. Because we got the building to do. Okay. Yeah, let's put dirt back down here. Now for here, what should I do? What to do? What to do? So many options. Go over some things via notes. Should I do this? Or should I do something else? I want to use some of this within it, if anything. Okay, so this means door to there. These here are going to be sections filled with books galore. We have chisel bookshelves and I want to fill them all with random bookshelves and bookshelves with enchantments. That's going to be a nightmare and a half, but each side primarily. While this would eventually lead over here, which is where our enchanting table will be. We have an area with those diamonds. We just don't have the proper equipment to acquire it. The last time I was there, I started to get my butt handed to me. Death galore, and here we are. Okay, so that's going to be where that is. I need to get enchanters as well. Okay, nuances aside, this is also where my enchantment's gonna be. So the side areas here I think should be where the librarians are, with different enchantments. One side to the other. I don't know honestly what they're gonna be each labeled for. I'll label them myself. Name tags. Gotta love them. I personally do. But what to do? Okay. Okay, for this pattern, I can then do this. It's raining like heck. Mind you, night's falling. So let's quickly go to sleep. Oh, it is nighttime. Dang, okay. Stuff my hot bar so I can feed the pigs. Yep. Grow for my own power. Okay. I'm gonna test something. We are at, of course, 19.8 and 24.5. We just defeated a bunch of things. Okay, we're down. We're down. I don't have to use spells for this. Oh, that is such a relief. Such a relief. Okay. This doesn't seem to do well. So let's take this off. Carpet maybe? Maybe. Maybe. The problem with this is I also have to have a filler block. It's gonna fill these little spots. Like, I mean, this is good and all, but then we kind of reach here where it's supposed to be boom boom. That still works because this pairs up evenly, actually. Be boom boom, and then here. Okay, this works better than I expected. And then back to here. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, grumble. I'm gonna have to check this out much later. Let's see. From that point, we're going to do this, right? Yep. Go across real quick. Yep. This will do just fine. see. I did it in the wrong spot. I did it in the wrong spot. God dang it. Well, that's my problem. Let's make another shovel. It needs it. Okay, shovel acquired. Fill this back in because I don't know what it's going to be yet. Wait, what am I doing wrong? Wait, hold on. Okay, I didn't, first off. I had it right the first time. Why do I have to be so stupid? Man, you can tell it's late. Well, let's try this one last time. Okay, we see. Let's see, we have these here. Then no, it's you. It's you right there. This part. No, you are out. Oh boy, I'm gonna have to stop here soon. I'm wearing myself so goddamn thin. I've been up for a while. Longer than I honestly should have been. I'm working hard. Where I live, it is extremely warm, to say the least. It is extremely warm, and though I'm not really complaining about it, it can be a problem. My computer does not have the best fan, and because of this, it does have issues that I personally am not a fan of. Let's see, trying to mimic this in particular is a pain. Okay, that works, and let's see, it's here, cross. Yep, okay, there we go. See. Boom. Keep doing this. No, wait. So you can't do that here. So it's boom, boom. See, but I can do you. Yep. This works well. Okay, where did I go wrong? It's back there. Oh, okay. Sadly, this is not going to be the most symmetrical thing in the world. I did by 2s, not by 3s. I have to push everything back a little for this to be that way. Yeah. Okay, so place you there. Yeah, it's gonna be such a pain to try to do, filling this in. Okay, so let's take a quick look. Break this. Yeah, this is the proper orientation at least. Yeah. I didn't do this right. Let's see, it's 3. I need to see where did I go wrong. That was well wrong. Okay. This here and this here. Such a pain. With the sun setting, I think. Now I know. Let's go to sleep. It's 12:30. I've been doing this for about 2.5 hours, and I've been doing a lot of work, doing other things. So I'm not exactly in the best physical spot at the moment for this. I need to sleep. I need sleep, personally. So with that, let's feed the pigs once more. And I'm going to end this stream here. Thank you for watching the stream. I've had fun doing this. Honestly, let me know if anything you'd like to actively see me add to this game. Mod-wise, I'll just in the description you'll be able to see exactly what I am running with. Though, quick spoiler, not so much spoiler, I'm currently running Minecraft 1.20.1 Fabric. I'm not using Optifine for any reason whatsoever. I discovered many issues with it. Mostly lag. We have the start of something quite beautiful coming on. I don't have nearly all the blocks I require to be able to do this very well. But I like how it's turning out. I love this little bit here. I like the lanterns, but though this feels very empty, if anybody can help tell me what I need to do for this, please do. But, like I said, I'm tired. Very tired. I'm going to be busy doing things small, more likely playing some games with the family. They pick my bed, yep. That or working on more things for Pathfinder 1E, maybe working on Vestas since I'm an axe. We're talking about him so much, and doing so gets me excited to work on him. So, things like Titans I'm still working on. It's a little bit different. Mostly bigger, more powerful giant variants, and it's a lot of stuff to keep up with. So, thank you for watching this stream. Don't forget to let me know any mod you'd like to see me play, and, well, I hope to see you in the next stream.